to the Relational Lives podcast. I'm Ali.
And I'm Ros.
And we're both psychotherapists.
This is a podcast about the relationship we have with others and the one we have with ourselves.
We cover many topics related to mental well-being and relationships.
We would really appreciate if you give us a 5-star review and subscribe on whatever platform you are listening on. This helps get the word out there so more people can access this free resource.
And we enjoy engaging with our listeners, so please share your thoughts in the comments or email us at relationallives@gmail.com. We hope you enjoy the show.
What happens in your relationship when your connection with your partner just doesn't quite match? In this episode, we're going to be talking about what it's like in a couple relationship where one person is autistic and the other isn't. This isn't looking at autism as if it's a problem to fix or something wrong. This is just looking at the different styles of communication that go on and trying to make sense of those. So stay tuned and we'll unpick this for you a little bit.
Hi, Ros.
Hi, Ali.
I don't know about you, but I am seeing more of this showing up in my couples work. I think because people are becoming more aware of autism and their own autistic traits that they may not have recognised as that previously.
Mm-hmm. Yes, certainly. I think generally with neurodiversity, I think we're becoming much more aware, aren't we? And certainly you and me as therapists and other therapists, I think it has become much more apparent how frequent that is. Couples coming in,
so many people that have not recognised it from their past, and then they're thinking, actually, this makes sense for me.
Yeah, especially with either things that people are reading. There's so much more in a way out there, isn't there, for people to understand, but also in terms of, I think, people's children being diagnosed sometimes and therefore thinking, oh, actually, this sounds like me. Or this sounds like my partner. Yeah.
So once again, we're just letting you all know that we aren't experts on neurodiversity by any means, but we want to share what we see showing up in the couple dynamic when one partner is autistic, in the same way that we will or have put out, I'm not sure if we put them out yet, the ADHD episodes. So, we're just going to share what we see happening, what might be relevant to you in your relationship.
I think the first thing to think about is when it's not really being recognised that there is autism in the mix. When it's just considered that that person isn't doing the things that you want them to do or connecting with you in the way that you want them to connect with you, and not actually being aware that that isn't necessarily possible, and it's also not necessarily personal. It's much more about these different brain styles that are going on.
So understanding it is really important, isn't it? Because like you say, then it's not so personal, and you can figure out ways that this can be better between you.
Shall we look at some common difficulties, relational difficulties that come up in relationship to when there's somebody with autism and somebody who isn't in a relationship?
Yes. Do that.
So sometimes, and I think people kind of think of this with people who are autistic, that there can be a sort of black and white type thinking, a sort of rigidity sometimes in those thoughts, and that therefore they might struggle a little bit more with understanding, and particularly in perhaps the emotional context of a relationship, the grey areas.
Yeah, and also to say that we recognise that every autistic person is going to be different in different areas. So this is just some of the things we commonly see. But this is one, isn't it? The black and white thinking, the all or nothing thinking, the right or wrong, the lack of ability to naturally see the grey areas in things. Okay, so the next one we've got written here is find change in plans hard to cope with. Can create a lot of anxiety when plans are suddenly changed. And the reason that this can be a problem in relationships is because plans do change sometimes. Life happens, doesn't it? And that might stir up quite a lot of emotions in someone who has autistic traits. And then it's how that plays out between you as a couple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can be really difficult, can't it? I think it's those sort of transitions, isn't it, from one thing to another, where maybe somebody who's autistic, they need to have the knowledge of what's going to happen in order to be able to manage what's going on inside them, to be able to do that thing.
I'm just thinking it's pouring with rain out there, and if someone had made plans to go out somewhere nice outside, for a walk, and then suddenly it's like, oh, well, we can't go because it's raining, that might really stir up some feelings, some anxiety, some anger in the autistic person. And then it's how you two, as a couple, support that and manage that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, because like you say, there are going to be those things which are suddenly changing of plans, but it's understanding what that might be like for the person who experiences that as harder, and where that can sometimes lead, and what then happens when there might be a bit of a meltdown around that because of the anxiety, because of the anger, because of being so thrown by it, and how that then goes, how that manifests itself in the relationship interaction. So people with autism who what we understand is that, there's this need for routine, a need for structure, and those things can bring calm when there is that understanding of what's happening and where you're going and what's going to be next, and having that real sort of clarity for that person is going to potentially be much more helpful, like we've said, not like something that's suddenly thrown in spontaneously.
Yeah. And if there's a partner that really values spontaneity, that can really be difficult, can't it? This clash of the what you crave in the relationship.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand it as an autistic trait, you might take it personally and start to have to blame or criticize.
Yeah. Or think that person doesn't care about you and what you want, and where, that can lead to that disconnection again, can't it?
So, a common experience with autistic people is there are differences in their sensory world. So, and this can vary from person to person. But this can be impactful in, I suppose, many areas of the relationship, but particularly around the tactile stuff and the intimacy and the sex life. There may be things in here that you need to consider for what works for that autistic person and what doesn't.
Mm-hmm. And again, you're really highlighting that understanding and awareness, aren't you? That if there's that knowledge and communication, then it isn't necessarily going to be something that's personal, but something that can be explored together to find solutions.
Yeah. It's like, well, okay, I don't like to be touched lightly. I need you to put more pressure on me, or I don't like my back being touched, or whatever it is. It's about, how do we understand this and how do we work with it?
That exploration, I can hear from what you're saying there, is a really important thing, isn't it? Exploring what is okay and what isn't. And that can be really, in itself, that exploration can be connecting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Finding those things out. Yeah. Very common with people with autism. I'm also aware that I'm just going to come in here with terminology. I mean, we're saying people who are autistic or people with autism, and I'm really aware that everybody has a different way of choosing how they address themselves, whether they are neurodiverse. I remember Rose from our episode, she prefers to think of herself as neurodiverse rather than as autistic, doesn't she? So when we're using these terms, it's whatever feels right for you, interchangeable, and we're not saying what's right or wrong. It's just terms we're using to help define those differences. I just thought I'd add that. But one of the things that's very common with people who are autistic is this word called alexithymia. And what that means is it's hard for people, and this isn't just down to people with autism. It can be other people, anybody can have this, but it's where it's really difficult to put into words how you feel, the feeling words, to find the words to describe your feelings. It feels like a really complicated word, doesn't it, for that, I always think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this can be really frustrating because if there's a partner who does find it easy to put their emotions into words or wants to inquire of the emotions of another, if the person who might have alexithymia is unable to say those things and communicate their feelings, that can cause difficulties.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when I was much younger, being diagnosed with alexithymia. Had no idea what it meant.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Believe it or not, I'm a therapist now.
Yeah. So in what way has that changed for you then? So the fact that you had it, how did you get to a place where you were able to put emotions into words?
Well, I think doing this training helped. I did a lot of mindfulness, so trying to kind of connect with my body. Done a lot of work on that. It's still not that easy for me, and it doesn't come as naturally as it does to some people. So I can really relate to that. And if you're in an argument with someone, let's say, and they freely can access it all and say it all at the same time, and you struggle with that, it can be really hard because you're like, well, I don't know what to say here. I'm on the back foot.
Yeah, it makes so much sense, doesn't it? And I know that sometimes it can be helpful. There's that sort of feelings wheel, isn't there? There's a wheel with so many different words for different feelings. So, you've got sort of the basis of anger. And then from that, you've got, sort of 70 words or whatever that could kind of be associated with anger, frustration, stress, whatever it is. But sometimes I think that can be a helpful thing to incorporate into understanding how you might feel, what word could go with that, and learning them.
This sort of links into the slower processing speed as well, I think, what I was saying there, that again, not always just someone neurodiverse, but that things take longer to process, whether that be it takes longer to be able to say the thing that you've thought. So you think before you speak rather than just speaking your thoughts. I've had couples where one is ADHD and one is autistic. That's a really interesting dynamic.
A really interesting dynamic, definitely.
You have the same.
I'm trying to think. Possibly, yes, possibly. And it makes sense, doesn't it, that you're going to get one person doing one thing completely different to the other person. And if you think of the speed sometimes that the ADHD brain can work, and then the need for the autistic person to be able to slow things down to try and take that in, to even need time to go away and think about it, to process it.
Yeah.
It's like, I cannot do this right here in this moment because it's just too much.
Yeah.
So you can imagine that makes it an interesting one.
Yeah, really difficult. Really difficult.
Yeah. The reading of cues can sometimes be difficult, can't it? I think for people with autism, where there may be things that there's such a lot of non-verbal language that goes on in relationships, isn't there?
Yeah.
And in communication. And even whether it's non-verbal or verbal, I think sometimes it's difficult to know exactly what that person's really saying or meaning, and having to try and figure that out can be really difficult and lead to misunderstandings.
So someone might have a confused facial expression, and that might be misinterpreted as anger.
Yeah. I remember a couple I was working with where, what we talked about is it being lost in translation. It's kind of that somehow there's two different languages almost going on, and that translation is just missed.
Yeah. Yeah, like they're on different radio wavelengths.
Yeah.
And this isn't actually the final one. There's another one I've thought about. But this one's the need for fairness and justice can be incredibly strong, which can lead to quite a lot of conflict, because sometimes you're not going to have that exact fairness in a relationship. There is going to be imbalance at times, and it will probably fluctuate over time rather than being fair in each example.
Yeah. And that also, in terms of that in terms of that justice, I was thinking about how this is a lovely strength for people with neurodiversity, who are autistic, people who are autistic, that there's a sort of real social justice that can be used so positively. But again, like you say, in a relationship where something doesn't feel fair, it can turn slightly the other way.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of strengths with all of this as well, isn't there?
Oh, so many, yes.
But the other one I was thinking about that's not on the list, which should be on the list, is I guess the social side of things. For an autistic person, it could be a lot harder, and a lot of masking might be required, and it can be very draining to be socializing and engaging in small talk. Whereas the other partner might love it, might be very social and out there and want to spend a lot of time with other people and partying and dinner parties and things.
Yes, I think you've picked a really good one, because I think that can bring up so many disagreements, can't it? But also understanding what that means for the person who isn't autistic, because they're really wanting to be social, let's say. Then are they going to take that personally, that person, their partner, is not wanting to be with them, or not wanting to stay late, or not interacting in the same way?
Yeah.
Sort of on the periphery maybe, or whatever it might be, or feel like with the masking that you talked about, that they have to take so much energy to go into that situation, so much preparation is required, and then feeling so exhausted by it afterwards, and wanting to sort of shut down and shut away as a result, and then creating more disconnection even having been out.
Yeah. I remember a couple I worked with a long time ago, but he was autistic. She wasn't. And originally there was this conflict around going out to social events, and she felt like, oh, you're just no fun. You don't want to be with me. You're just a party pooper. And when they came to an understanding that, no, this isn't about that. This is about this person is really struggling with this situation and needs to take that space. It was so different. So different for them to be able to go, okay, this is what it's about. This is what you need. Why don't you, if you need to, take yourself off early or leave for a bit?
And not taking it personally makes such a difference, doesn't it? And the key, I think, which leads really nicely onto sort of the importance of awareness, of understanding. It makes such a difference for anything, actually. If we have understanding and awareness. I remember there was a quote I saw, I can't remember who or what, but it said something like, if you knew one thing that you don't know about this person at this moment, that it would change everything that you thought of in terms of making sense of what was going on for them. And sometimes that's the case, isn't it? If we just know this one bit of information and then understand it, it can change everything.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, so let's go to our takeaway tips.
3 top takeaway tips.
Number 1. So this is for the autistic partner or suspected autistic partner, to gain a self-understanding about your own experience of how your neurodiversity shows up. How does it look for you? What strengths does it bring? It's important to recognize the strengths as well. And where does it lead to difficulties within this relationship? And also, what is going to be important for your partner to know from this understanding? And I think it's important to write this down in a journal or something, so it's not just in your head, it's written down. And we've got some resources. I think the embrace-autism.com website is a brilliant one for people to look at, to help themselves. There's lots of questionnaires on there, some lovely articles. It's a really good website.
Number 2, This is for the non-autistic partner. And again, this is around understanding and awareness. And it's important for you to do your own research on autism to be able to understand it and inform yourself of common experiences that might be relevant to your relationship. So really do that learning and understanding so that you can be informed.
And last but not definitely not least, number 3, then come together. And for the autistic partner to share with their partner what they understand about themselves and how it might be a part of any difficulties and strengths in the relationship. So this is where you can really come together as that team and look at this and say, okay, this is what it is. This is what might be needed between us to help with this.
Yeah, that's so lovely, isn't it? That's a real sort of getting a sense of walking around a little bit in somebody else's world.
Yeah, and it's
Each
not just going to be
person.
a one conversation. It's going to be an ongoing process, isn't it?
Yeah. Sally, this is great. We're doing this because this is Autism Awareness Month, isn't it? So we really hope that this is just a little tiny drop in the ocean for people to think about their relationships when there is maybe either diagnosed or undiagnosed autism in the mix of a couple relationship, and helping you understand a little bit more, or even leading you to want to learn a little bit more about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Ros, again.
Thank you, Ali.
Do subscribe to whatever platform you're on listening to this or watching this, because it does help get the word out, but it also means that you get notifications when similar episodes come out.
Great. Thanks for being with us, and join us next time.